for the leadership seminar, our group decided to focus on the topic of adapting to change. I'm Alvin. My group members are Dinesh, Mick, Alice, and Harshini. To begin with, when we decided on this topic of adapting to change, how we decided to choose our interviewees was we decided to specify on the media industry, because the media industry is one of the industries that's the most subjected to change. It has changed the most over the years, and entertainment industry especially is very fickle because you have to depend on what is the current taste, what is the current trend, and also current affairs. So in that vein, what we decided to do was we shortlisted a list of potential interviewees from the newspaper, radio, and TV media, and print, radio, and TV mediums. So we shortlisted seven potential interviewees, which is Mr. Sukbe, who is a former journalist for NST and Rakyat Post. Mr. Jeff Chin, who is a CEO at Social Max and the former radio announcer at MyFM. Ms. Nisa Idris, who is currently a producer at BFM. Ms. Melissa Tam, who is a YouTuber and Hits FM radio announcer. Jake Abdullah, which I'm sure everyone is familiar with. He's the current CEO of Astro Radio, and he was also the former content officer of Astro Radio. Ms. Sue Singh, which is the editor for New Type magazine, and Mr. Saadullah, who is retired but was formerly from TV3 as a broadcast journalist and a senior, and then after that a senior editor. And after his retirement, he was brought back as a media consultant. So we faced a number of problems, but we managed. But we'll get into that later. So in the end, we managed to secure 3 interviews, which I will have whoever is the main interviewer explain, because they were the most engaged in that interview. So I will begin with Dinesh.
Hi, good morning to Ms. Cheryl and my fellow classmates. So basically, I interviewed Mr. Subbe, who is ex-NSC journalist, ex-Rakyat Post journalist, and co-founder of Eccentrica. Based on the interview, I learned that by his views, he's saying that leadership in the media industry, the bosses always tend to not let the other journalists to post certain things regarding the government, because back then Barisan Nasional was ruling our country. So most of the journalists were reprimanded for posting controversial stories such as 1MDB and anything related to Najib. And from his interview, what I learned, I did my own research that most the journalists who got reprimanded are Professor Asmi Sharum, Fahmi Reza, and Zuna, the cartoonist, because for just silly things, for just like drawing Najib's picture and posting it, making fun of Najib, which is very, very childish to arrest a person for that. And I also learned that proper leaders, based on his opinion, I quote, proper leaders of the media should learn to develop more bravery when reporting the news and should not falter even when reprimanded by the government. This is based on his views. So I realized that because of that, he quit his job, he resigned, and there's 2 companies he worked in, and he also resigned in both of the company because he was not satisfied with the Sedition Act. And also, after interviewing him, we asked him a question actually, which leader do you admire at the moment? I gave him an option, whether it's Donald Trump or the Russian President Vladimir Putin or Kim Jong-un. But he didn't say anything. He said they're all the same. But what I learned, I did my own research. What I learned is the current leader that everyone follows is our Tun Mahathir, because he's 93 years old, and he's not doing it for the money. For sure, he's not doing it for the money. today or tomorrow you might die. Touch wood lah. Today or tomorrow you might die because it's already 93. And if you look back, when he went to the United Nations summit last month, all the leaders wanted to take a picture with him because he was such an influential leader in the political arena. Okay, that's about it. I will pass on to Alice to elaborate further.
So the second interviewee that we approached is Miss Sui Xin. She's the editor for New Tide magazine, and she has been working in media industry for 5 years. And she has also been working for 3 different magazine companies. And when I first asked her, why do you choose why did she choose to work at her current company? And the answer that she gave me is that she has met a very good boss with good leadership skill, and this is one of the reasons that she stayed working at her current company until now. And from here we can see that a boss with good leadership skill is very important because it can determine whether an employee to stay or to leave. And we have quoted her saying that it is very important that leadership can adapt to change because a leader should understand the changes around the media industry and also the leader needs and also the reader's needs. Then only they can make the right strategy to fulfill their needs. I'll pass on to Nick.
Hi everyone. So with Mr. Saadullah Chetno, it was actually very last minute in getting him. I got it through a family contact. And he's actually, my best description of him is an informally wonderful guy. He doesn't take things formally. He likes to chat a lot. So during the interview, when I asked him like questions like how would you rate the current media industry, how it is right now, and he would say from back when he worked from TV3 until all the way to Al Hijrah throughout his years, it's generally been the same, just some difference like what they can broadcast right now. It's like before this, there were some elements and topics they couldn't, but now they can, and what they can write about as well. But for him, it's like when I asked him how leaders are, it's like you shouldn't be worried about how leaders are. It's just that you should be worried about whether you're worried in coming into the working industry. Because he feels like everyone who first enters the working life, regardless of how confident they are, how prepared they wish to tell themselves they are, once they're into that working life, you're going to be shocked. You're going to be shocked and you're going to be thrown into a different world, and you will eventually get skills that you will need to survive in a working life, in a working industry. So it's like leaders will also examine you on that way, what skills you have, but they're going to have a very normal impression of you, and throughout those months and months of just treating you like a slave, like how he would say, you will learn the skills needed so you can survive in the working industry. So on to the next part.
For the initial plan for seminar, our group decided to moderate a forum on predicting and adapting to change in the media industry with 3 to 4 panelists from various media organizations in both government or private sector. However, due to the time and location, the time and the dates of the seminar, about 2 to 3 interviewees failed to actually, like Mr. Subir initially said that he would be able to attend and conduct the forum, but last minute he decided to actually just bail out. So because of that, we were unable to fulfill minimum of 3 panelists position. But fortunately enough, we managed to get a guest speaker, Mr. Saadullah Chetno, to speak about adapting to change based on his experience from broadcast journalism in the government sector.
And the challenges that we face is at the beginning stage, we struggle to obtain interviews. But luckily, in the end, we managed to secure 3 interviewees. And the second challenge is some of the interviewees they are unwilling to travel to Nilai for the panel discussion. And their schedule also clash, and they can't meet for the panel discussion. And some of them also last minute drop out from from our project.
As for event contribution, we had the 2 to 4 activity as Kelsey's group previously explained. So our group collaborated with her group and the others as well. And I was also one of the hosts when we were doing the seminar activities, which consisted of 3 games. And lastly, it was the talk in which I had Encik Sadullah, whether he would like to join, and he happily took part as a guest speaker. And during that time, we had people, one of the facilitators, a few of them actually going to pick him up as we were doing the activities and setting up the venue for his speaking session.
So one thing that I actually found was similar in what Mr. Subbe and Mrs. Abdullah did mention was that they found that government-affiliated media is usually the most resistant to change, and they both agree that there is no point fighting change because it's the times are going to change with or without you, and they attribute that partly to that's why they feel that partly government-affiliated medias like government TV and government radio are failing in viewership because of this. They refuse to change and they are set in their ways. This is also reflected in the leadership in those kind of companies where it's very rigid. It's you follow the rules and do it. So they are very resistant to change. So our main takeaways from the 3 interviews is there's no point fighting change because change will happen regardless. So you have to adapt to it, and even better, you have to find a way to play it to your advantage. You also, one thing that they also told us that we could see in our seminar that we conducted is you cannot control everything. Your plan will not, whatever you plan will not go exactly like it. So even on a minute level, being flexible, being able to find solutions instead of complaining about things that go wrong or things that are not the way that they are supposed to be is pointless. You have to find a solution to make it work. And they also mentioned that people naturally resist change. A good leader should be able to get people to get behind that change. So a good leader will be able to recognize new trends and should be forward-thinking. So that was the main takeaways from the 3 interviews and what we could see how they applied to what we saw in the seminar.
I would like to add on because I just would like to share this incident that happened when we interviewed Subbe. He promises to come on that day. So basically, what happened after last minute, he cancelled the interview. And he said he can't come, which is very unprofessional. And also I find that many of these leaders, although they have some posts with them, but they are not really professional, and they are not, if you are a professional person, you should stick to the plan. You should say, okay, this day I'm coming, I'll come. Okay? If you're not coming, just honestly say you're not coming. Because we are giving them a place to publicize himself and get more viewers for his blog. So what I would like to say is, some leaders are there, they will take advantage of students. They will think, students only for what? Last minute I cancel them screw it . So I was quite disappointed, and I don't know, my groupmates were quite pissed off with it, because it's really ridiculous . We already give you a place to publicize. You get few viewership right from your blog. So I would like to share this will happen. Hopefully it doesn't happen to you all, but it will happen in future . There are some leaders are like that . Okay, that's all.